Hello everybody, Ryan here with another episode of the Game Prowl. And this time, we're taking a look at Assault Android Cactus, by which beam it is a top-down score attack arena shooter in which the robots have completely taken over this random spaceship and have completely assassinated the human crew. Your job is to gun them down and figure out why or what exactly happened to the ship. But before we do that, quick look into the options menu, because again, some people do care about these things. Display mode, you got windowed and full screen, that's all you've got to you. Resolution, you have your full array of resolution options, all the way up from, well, 1920. Oh god, I've changed way more things than I meant to change there. Alright. Anyways, you have your full array of resolution options. Image quality goes from low, medium, high to highest, although, you know, not very specific, but also this game is not very taxing either. And then, of course, you have your VSync, which you can turn on and off. For the audio, you have music, sound effects, voice volume. They all have their various different sliders, which is good, you know. I mean, it really isn't something you should mention, but you'd be surprised how many games out there just flat out put a master volume slider, and that's it. Anyways, in terms of voice volume, it's not too important. There are a few voice things here and there, and they're actually quite nice, but anyways, voice isn't too prominent in here. Of course, speakers, you have mono and stereo. Whoop-de-doo. For the game settings, you can play with either a keyboard or a gamepad. Leaderboards, again, score attack game, so the leaderboards are quite important. You can either have it only be your friends, which is, you know, I wouldn't blame you at all. You can have it be global as well if you want to see how badly everyone else on the world is beating you. You can flat out disable them, which is probably not something you want to do in a game like this. Or you could have them combined together. And for the vibration, you of course have it on or off. Collection screen is currently not available. This game is in Steam Early Access, something I should really learn to start saying at the beginning of the damn video. Anyways, the game is currently only available on Steam Early Access. As such, not all content is currently available. Some of it is still being worked on, like the collection screen. Although apparently via playing the game you can unlock codex entries, art galleries, and extra settings, and supposedly these extra settings can vastly change the way that the game is played, although I can neither confirm nor deny because they are not currently available. Leaderboards, of course, you have your global, you have your friends list, and you can switch between 1, 2, 3, or 4 player modes, so you know, 4 people will have a different score from people in 1 player. And of course you can also see which Android the people are using. Now let's play the game, because as it currently stands, some of the stuff I said didn't really make much sense. You have Endless Battle and Boss Rush as planned game modes, again not currently implemented, but they plan on having these in the game by release. As far as I'm aware, there is no full release date yet. For the campaign, let's play on in. Now again, as I'm sure you can tell by the, by the main menu, this game features local co-op. Up to 4 players, as it turns out. I unfortunately don't have any friends, so get out of here. I'm going to be playing this lonely style. You have currently you start off with up to 4 androids in the current version. By being the first boss, you unlock the 5th Starch android. And the game is planned to have 8 playable androids, 1 for each of the bosses, aside from the final boss, who God knows what he gives you. Regardless, let's play as Coral. She's a pretty interesting android, and is apparently very happy to be selected there. Each of these androids, by the way, they do have their own little backstories and little personality quirks. You learn their backstories, aside from Cactus, of course. For most of them, you learn their backstories by beating the bosses, who, well, teach you different things about the androids via their little conversational dialogues there. I say aside from Cactus because Cactus was not originally on the ship. All the androids aside from Cactus were originally on the ship when this whole catastrophe started. Cactus just sort of showed up at the last second there, and the game tells you her backstory right off the bat. Anyways, let's bust on into Filament here, so I can show you the basic gameplay. Enough jibba jabba, time to play some video games, shall we? So the game is a top-down shooter. You use both your sticks to you know, aim the gun and move, and you use the right trigger to shoot your primary weapon. You use the left trigger to throw down your secondary weapon, which in Coral's case is a deployable plasma ball, which constantly damages all enemies within the area, quite a bit as well, because most of these secondary weapons tend to be very damaging. Jeez. Okay, let's learn to talk here, damn it. It's not too difficult, is it? Oh boy, let's get out of there, cuz, damn. I made a poor mistake. Unfortunately, sometimes with that plasma ball, I tend to get a little bit overzealous. Up at the top left, you can see your HP. what the HP does is you have up to 5 hits, or is it 6 hits? I don't know. Either way, you just don't want to get hit, because once the bar at the top left depletes, then your character is knocked down, and at that point you have to, it says mash the fire button, although that is blatantly incorrect. At least on the gamepad. Maybe on a keyboard it's fire, but on a gamepad you mash the A button, which doesn't fire. As we learned right there, and almost sacrificed my chain to learn. Although to be fair, Coral's probably one of the worst androids to have on this level. Don't know why I picked her. Anyways, let's just deploy a plasma ball over there to kill that turret. Split my methods here. The timer doesn't matter. All that matters is the point system, which, oh my god, I am playing absolutely terribly. Who knew that commentating and playing game truly affected how well you played? But apparently it does. Regardless, what was I talking about? I was talking about the health system. The bar at the top, that is your timer, essentially. You can die as many times as you want, but once that timer hits 0, then you're done. And you'll notice I've been picking up these little battery power-ups. The batteries increase the amount of time you have before your android powers down forever. And, well, that was a pretty terrible demonstration of how to play this game, but regardless, my videos here are not to demonstrate to you how to play the game, they're to demonstrate to you the gameplay itself. So, B rank, pretty terrible, and I died a few times, which is even worse. Let's select someone that I actually am more familiar with. Let's play with Holly. She's quite a nice character. Has her secondary is a cannonball that pierces all enemies, and her primary auto seeks out targets, but for a little bit lower damage. Let's see, why don't we play, again, you'll notice with the filament, the lights were flickering on and off. The levels do dynamically change, so let's go to Furnace to demonstrate it a little bit better. Alright, well, as you can tell, Furnace, a little bit better to demonstrate the dynamically changing level because there's a giant flamethrower that just circles around infinitely, attempting to horribly murder you. Let's fire a cannonball over there. And risk losing my chain. Let's not do that. Losing the chain is actually a bad thing. Oh my god, I know, right? What a revolution. You don't want to lose your chain. Pretty much how the chain works, that's what I was explaining when I got cut off last time. How the chain works is, it gives you a multiplier depending on how many bots you've killed. As you can see, 6 gives you a 5 times multiplier, 7 gives you a 6 times multiplier. The multiplier goes up to times 10, but you still want to keep that chain going for as long as possible because, well, obviously you want to have that 10 times multiplier for as long as possible. 100 points is always better than 10 points, and I am playing terribly today, unfortunately. Oh well. Thankfully, the game isn't very difficult to actually beat. In terms of getting score, getting the highest score is actually quite difficult because there's a lot of things. Again, you know, you want to keep that chain going for as long as possible, but keeping that chain going for as long as possible is sometimes quite difficult, especially on some of these later levels that we're playing with right here. But in terms of actually just flat out beating the game, it's actually quite easy. And I know some people, I don't know, I'm sure some people would disagree with me there. I've seen some people have some legitimately hard times with this game, but personally, I find just flat out beating the game to be incredibly easy. It just hands you batteries so often, you've almost never got any problems to worry about. Even on the hardest stage in the game currently available, Convection, I am actually... Oh man, that was a terrible position. Those red robots send out shockwaves that instantly kill you. The mines pretty much instantly kill you, although I have survived them sometimes. Regardless, I should not be in this position. Kill them all and get out of there. Get away from the fire as well. Herp Derp, he said this game's easy. Why is he dying all the time? Why don't you try commentating this damn game? Anyways, again, when it comes to actually flat out dying, that very rarely happens. Indeed, I've never actually died in this game. It's a little bit silly, really. But thankfully, this is a score attacks game, so actually beating it is not the main draw here. God, that was terrible. Yeah, beating the game is not the main draw here. The main draw is trying to acquire as much score as possible, which is where the real challenge comes in. Because, I mean, if you're trying to beat the game, it's going to be pretty much easy most of the way through. If you're trying to get at least high scores on the game, then you'll get your pretty standard difficulty curve, as I'm sure you're seeing here, with the A's and B's, and then it drops down to C, and then a D on Convection. And, of course, if you're trying to S+ everything, and get on the top of the leaderboards, prove you're the very best in the entire world, then this game will truly shine to you. Now, let's play one of the bosses here before I quickly shut out. And, who do I want to play as with the bosses? I'm thinking maybe Lemon, or maybe Cactus, honestly. I don't know. Let's play as, let's see how I'm playing as Holly, actually. I don't know. I quite like her character. And should we fight Embryo or Vespula? Let's fight Embryo. Get a little taste of how the bosses work. And we have the production overlord Embryo. Rats! Sneaky, filthy rats scurrying around my hold. But this is unexpected. It's Holly the bureaucrat. What's wrong? Am I late with my inventory reports? Embryo, you've gone too far, and I'm here to stop you. So stop. And of course Embryo just laughs. I'm not doing that, and wow, that was so good! Okay then, so that was a terrible start to this, and let's just go ahead and start gunning down Embryo. The bosses tend to start out rather easy, but don't worry, they get quite bullet helly later on. They start off easy, even though I died immediately. Trust me, they do. Alright, let's grab that time limit there. Let's grab the time limit recharge, fire another cannonball, and now he's entering full bullet hell mode. Let's just not get hit by any bullets, shall we? That sounds like a plan. Regardless, fire another cannonball, because those things deal a ton of damage. Dear lord. Dude just melts beneath their weight. Now he's gonna fire his missiles. As far as how the bosses work, generally they start demonstrating different attacks during each of their phases rather. And once they hit the final couple of stages, then they start combining their attacks and really kicking your butt. And that was a phase we essentially skipped because shutdown is OP apparently. Like now he's doing a spinning attack and moving at the same time, yada yada. And then once he hit his final phase, then the real fun comes into play. And I will show once again recharge at the full. Again, game itself not that difficult. And yes, I got the shutdown. That was exactly what I wanted. And he is dead. I might have actually gotten a new high score there. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Mr. Embryo, sir. I'm really sorry. So I'm to be done in by the bookkeeper. Show some self-respect, child. You're not so useless after all. And so you can tell the androids each have their own little responses to the boss's dialogues. Like, for example, if you go in there with Coral, he starts making fun of how Coral's actually a teacher on the ship. And then Coral goes on to attempt to teach him how to fight properly. Yada yada, blah blah blah. But yeah, each of the characters have their own, each of the androids have their own little personality quirks. They've all got their own backstories on the ship. It's actually quite interesting to beat all the bosses of the different androids. In addition to, you know, figuring out who's the best for each boss and who will give you the best score, you'll learn new things about the lore of this game. Anyway, let's play with Starch, the one character I haven't actually played as yet. Well, you know, aside from Cactus and have I played with Lemon? I don't know. I don't think I have. Anyways, that's not important. And there is one thing that I haven't yet pointed out about the game, and that is the music. So what I'm essentially going to do is end off the commentary here, and we're going to play with the final level. I'm going to shut up so you can listen to the music, and we're going to see just how chaotic and crazy this game can get, because again, while it may not be very difficult, it gets incredibly chaotic, and getting the high score is where the real difficulty comes into play. So, you know, in terms of difficulty, you get what you take out. So, let's play Convection, shall we? And be sure to like the video if you liked it. Subscribe for more. Check out Assault Android Cactus, which currently available Steam Early Access for $15. You can also pre-order it on their page, as well as pre-order the deluxe edition, which will net you their digital art book, as well as the soundtrack when the game hits full release. And I will see you guys next time. Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant! Oh, man. Alright, anyways. That's a terrible start to this mission. With the battery. you can see, pretty freaking chaotic sometimes, but also still pretty easy. Anyways, I will see you guys next time.